Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another program and an afternoon session. And we'll wait for a few of our friends to come on and say hello and see a little different background here. I call this Tony Jr.'s background. Good afternoon, Kev. How are you? Mike from Norland. How you doing? Jen, Cape Breton Island. How are you? Ashley, Andrea, Niagara Falls, Nick from our staff. Good morning. Oh no, afternoon. Rosa, Montreal, Annette, Nouveau Brunswick, Micheline, how are you? Mary Jane from Connecticut, Reem, how you doing? Nativity, Cecilia from Sudbury, never heard of it. And Patricia from Calgary. Wendy from Markham. Deanna, how are you? Francine, Leamington. And Diane from Ottawa. Judy, good. From Mitchell. Georgie, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Ornella, how are you, Ornella? Joanne, North Bay, and Leela, hello, Millika, Stouffville, Lynn from Barrie, Jane, Frida, how are you? West Indies. How's that going, by the way, Frida? Darlene and Danny, how are you? Danny's lost 10 pounds. Good for you. Marnie. And Gwen from Gore Bay, hello. Linda from Iowa. And you love the afternoon sessions. Sherry, how are you? And we appreciate it. Brenda, hello. Sherry, Sherry, I want to sing. Maybe they'll let me sing one of these. Olga from the Ukraine. Well, hello, Olga. We appreciate you guys coming in from all over. Vince, Luella, Alicia. I know I missed a few because I was looking at that Ukraine one. Wanda. And Frida says, it's beautiful. Lots of sunshine. Jenny, Chilliwack, Vera, Stephanie. Gertie, how are you? Burlington. Gretchen, California. Angelica. Wisconsin, Joy, Warminster, British Columbia. Judy, I know, Judy. I missed the singing too. Anita from Florida. Okay, guys, let's get going. Joyce, how are you? Now look, guys, we've done a whole series all week on myths. I think we started on Monday. That was an afternoon session, and we talked about the myths of vitamin D. And we've spent some time this week talking about the myths. The myth of veganism. And, apparently how good it is for you. Well, that's a myth, my friend. It's a myth. And today I want to talk to you about the myth. Actually two, and I'm going to put them together. I want to talk about the myth of snacking. Snacking. Now, I was through the grocery store, okay? I used to hate going to the grocery store, but I like it. My wife doesn't like me in the grocery store because I'm reading labels all the time. And it slows things down, but I'm very curious in the grocery store. But I was reading the other day, this was called Skinny Pop. I don't know if you've seen it. So it's skinny popcorn. Okay? And they're liars, pants on fires. Because their whole idea is, first of all, you're just going to have a light snack. And second of all, the other myth there's a myth on snacking and whether that's good for you or not. We'll talk about that. The other one is calories in and calories out. Okay? So that's really important to understand. It's calories in and calories out, as far as weight loss, is a complete load of bunk. If calories in and calories out was effective, we'd never have to talk about any other form of, weight loss. And physicians, they still love that. Well, you know what? Eat less and move more. And that has been the mantra for the last 60, 70 years. Eat less, move more. It's been a colossal failure because it ain't about calories. And snacking is brought to you by the food companies. The food companies. Now, I got to do this just for a second here because I actually saw it the other day that they're recommending. Now, I got to do a whole program on this, but let me just touch base on this for a second. They're so worried about childhood obesity that they want, I don't know if you guys saw that, because I actually saw it in the mainstream media too. And what they're suggesting, this is I'm not going to say it's the first time, but it's the first time that I've seen it where the pharmaceutical companies and the food companies, they don't even try and hide it. They are in complete cahoots together. And you know what it is? Oh, here's what we're going to do. We have such a problem with childhood obesity. We better nip it in the bud when they're 12 or 13. And here's what they want to do with it. One, the pharmaceutical companies want to do medication. Weight loss meds. The doctors, they want to do surgery. Digestive surgery. And in behind it all, in the unholy trinity, is the food companies. Because, folks, think about this just for a minute. You got a problem, it's called obesity. What are they saying? 40% of kids are obese? And about 60 or 70% of them are overweight? And here's the solution. Let's give them drugs. Let's do surgery. And let's not talk about food. Guys, I just about blew my lid when I read that article. The recommendations for obesity include drugs and surgery. They don't even talk about food. They don't talk about sugar. They don't talk about anything. So if you don't think that's sponsored, if the food companies and the big pharma didn't get together on that, I don't know. I'm telling you guys, it is incredible. Back to the myths. I had to bring it out because when I saw it the other day, I kind of figured you guys saw it. And you were wondering if I was going to talk about it. Well, yeah. I tell you, my blood pressure rose dramatically reading an article like that. Here you are, the answer to childhood obesity is not surgery. It's not medication, for heaven's sakes. It's food. Teach kids. Kids are smart. Teach them. It's not even calories. Teach them the dangers of sugar. Get them to read labels. But the food industry, they don't want that. The snacking industry, they don't want that. Oh, you know what? Why just have some Skinny Pop? Skinny Pop. Here's the problem with that. Because you know what it says on Skinny Pop? Like if you flip the package and you read the package, you know what it says? This is a low-calorie food. So if you only have, a smaller amount, you're only going to get 100 calories or less. And that's why it makes a healthy snack. My friend, I'm going to tell you something. That is one of the worst snacks that you can have. When you see a granola bar, run. Granola bars are very unhealthy. You know, look, I love popcorn. I do. But, I'm not even under the impression for 1 second that it's good for me. Okay? It's not good for me. I like it. I mean, who doesn't like popcorn? But that doesn't make it good for you, and it certainly does nothing to lose weight. And let me explain that. When you eat carbohydrates, read the labels. When you eat a carbohydrate, your body has to secrete insulin. Why? Because that carbohydrate is going to be turned into sugars in nanoseconds. Okay? Just the way it is. Carbs are turned to sugars rapidly. Okay? So, I don't care if it's Skinny Pop or Fatty Pop. What difference does it make? You need insulin. Because insulin is going to be created at the eating of a carbohydrate. And so when you have a snack, you secrete insulin. Now the problem with that is, and insulin's got a job to do. It's going to take that sugar that was you created by eating a carb. You created a sugar. Never mind if they added any sugars to it. Okay? Never mind that. If they did, it's even worse. Because if you read the labels on snacks, go through the grocery store, have a little bit of fun, just for, take some time, read those snacks, and you'll see who cares about calories. It has nothing to do with calories. It has everything to do with how much insulin you need. And as long as insulin is present, it's impossible to lose weight. It's impossible to lose fat. It's impossible. Because one of insulin's job, they are literally jail guards keeping fat in your body. So let me show you something. I'm going to show you a little bit of a graph, okay? And just so, okay? So, you have a snack in the afternoon, okay? And so, this line I'm drawing there, can you see it? Okay, it's not that dark. You see that little line? Well, you had a snack right here. But insulin's got a job to do. So it's not like, okay, you had a snack, insulin secreted, and then insulin goes away. No, it doesn't work like that. Insulin lasts, even with a snack, for about 2 hours in your body. So what happens is insulin is taking that sugar and storing it in your body as fat. Impossible to lose weight. So snacking is a bunch of bunk. It's not true. Why are we at the Martin Clinic often talking about intermittent fasting? You see, the idea with fasting, I'm going to come back to insulin again, okay? You see my little line? Okay, do you see it? You see it? You see it? Okay, for those listening on a podcast, I just got my yellow notepad out and I drew a line. And insulin is not a little dot, it's a line, because it takes about 2 hours to do its work or more, depending on what you eat. And as long as insulin is present, you can't get rid of fat. Insulin won't let fat escape. So, they're lying to you, friend. So when I'm just having a little snack. I know, but you need insulin. The key is not calories. I don't care if it's low calories. Skinny Pop was a low calorie popcorn compared to, normal popcorn, I guess. Regular popcorn. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You still need insulin. And as long as insulin is present, okay? It's the phone, but it ain't for me. Okay? As long as insulin is present, you can't lose fat. As long as insulin is present. Why do we like intermittent fasting? Because when you intermittent fast, let's say you don't eat from... Here's my favorite intermittent fast, okay? People ask me that all the time. Doc, what do you like to do? Here's what I like to do. Stop eating. Don't eat at night. Try and finish your supper around 5 o'clock. Earlier the better. Earlier the better. Okay, it's not always possible for all people. But I'm just saying, earlier the better. And then so if you stop eating around, let's say you stopped at 5 o'clock. And then you didn't eat again, okay, till 8, 10, even better, 10 o'clock in the morning. Well, what happens, okay? So after you ate, you got about 2 or 3 hours of insulin. Insulin was around doing its job, turning carb, depending on what you ate. Of course, if you eat the reset, eggs, meat, and cheese, you don't hardly need any insulin. You don't. So insulin, you're giving it a holiday, so it's even better. But let's say you had some carbs. Let's say you had some vegetables or whatever at supper time. Okay. But if you stop eating, count 2 hours past that, because insulin's got a job to do, and then you give a rest for insulin, now your body can burn fat as fuel. Before, you could not burn fat as fuel. Why? Because insulin was present. That is the advantage of intermittent fasting, and the disadvantage of calories in and calories out, the disadvantage of snacking. Snacking is one of the worst things you can do for insulin and for weight loss or whatever. You know what? Just keep your metabolism going. So have little snacks, brought to you by the food industry. The food industry talked to us about that. Isn't that crazy? But when you understand how your body works, how the body's physiology works, you understand that here at the Martin Clinic, we are huge on hormones. And insulin is a hormone. And when you understand how insulin works, its job it has to do, the fact that after you're eating, insulin is still around depending on what you're eating. So it's not calories, it's nutrition value. The denser your nutrition value is, the less insulin you need to use. It's not calories in, calories out. We have had a colossal failure now for so long. Like, just eat less and move more. Eat less and move more. No. And I'll tell you something. If any of you guys, and a lot of you even know this, if you've got any kind of hormonal issues, thyroid, cortisol, estrogen, guess what those are? Those are fat producing hormones. They can't help it. They can't help but pour on fat into your body. And so I never look at weight loss as calories in and calories out. And by the way, you can't out-exercise a bad diet. You just can't. So you want to know a myth? Myths. There's two of them right there. And it's funny, the grocery store was meant to push the myths. The grocery store, the middle aisles, where you're going to get your snacks. Oh, Dr. Martin, it's granola. That must be good for me. It's granola. I don't care. It's bad for you. You understand that? Really, 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 really important to understand that. Okay, guys. Now let me make an announcement today, okay? To give you a heads up. Tomorrow, I'm off. I know it's question and answer Friday, but I'm off. Okay? But guess what? We're going to try it because I'm going to try a Saturday morning session at 8:30. Okay? And then you guys give me feedback about that. Now, look, I understand it's not what you're used to, but I'm going to try it Saturday morning. Okay? We're going to do a session. Can't do it tomorrow, but we're going to do it. So you still got time to send your questions in. And I'm going to do question and answer, not Friday, Saturday. I'm traveling tomorrow. Okay? But Saturday, we're going to try it. So you give me your feedback. And if you're around Saturday morning, well, you'll get your notice and then you join us. Okay? Guys, thank you so much. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for tuning in on an afternoon session. We love you dearly. Talk to you soon.